All right. Today, I want to talk about the very coolest American global freedom fighter loadout that you can have. Okay, let's start talking about gearing up for freedom fighting. Okay? I'm going to tell you the absolute coolest freedom fighter loadout you can have. It's going to surprise you. Let's go. All right. So, we live in a world where, as American citizens, we can really no longer rely on our U.S. military to protect us from global villainy. This is clear as day. You know, global villainy started on February 24th, 2022. We're now in March 2021, and President Biden has done nothing to protect us from global villainy. He's made a bunch of performative gestures that look nice, and that look nice to the global community. Oh, thanks, that was cute. But like toothless sanctions and a whole bunch of other junk that doesn't matter, not helping fight global villainy. Like, just there's no better way to describe it. That's the only way it can be described right now. Non-Christians are like on regular news sources are using the word evil. That's how you know where we are today, right? Like, because I'm an evangelical Christian. If I say it's a fight between good and evil, and everybody's going to ignore it because they're like, oh, that's your worldview, right? This is like people who don't even share my worldview using the term evil for what's happening. Vladimir Putin, multiple people are saying this is just evil, right? And it is. Each day, Vladimir Putin wakes up and plans evil. That's where we are. That's the world we live in, right? And we now know, right, that when evil arrives in the world, we cannot hope that our U.S. military will help us with that problem, right? And the reason why is a dove-dem president can bench them and will bench them. This is proven. It's a fact, right? Like, it's, we have men and women who could shut this problem down probably in 7 days, right? Maybe three, right? And President Biden's like, no, imposed fly zone. You just keep going, Vlad. Have at it, right? It's so frustrating. Okay, all right. What are we talking about today? The coolest possible. So what is the coolest possible loadout for you as an American global freedom fighter? Here's your answer. A coffee cup. How do I know it? Because I watched what happened in Mariupol, right? Mariupol was shelled constantly, right? On Friday of this last week, right? Mariupol was under constant shelling, and there were Ukrainians with zero military training, right? And you know what their loadout was for freedom fighting? It was their coffee cup. They were sitting in a movie theater, right, with the word children written in white paint 10 feet high, right? Just sitting in the movie theater. Now, how is that fighting? How is that a loadout how is that a model for the American global freedom fighter? Well, that's what they chose to fight with. A coffee cup. They were like, this is my land, you evil villain, Vladimir Putin. And if you're going to take it, you're going to have to bomb us. You're going to have to bomb us. And the weight of my soul will rest on you forever. This coffee cup is my weapon, right? That is super dope. That is the model for the American global freedom fighter, right? That's just dyed-in-the-wool, absolute shocking bravery, right? Saying, I'm ready, bring it. Here's my coffee cup. That's what I'll fight you with, right? That's the coolest American global freedom fighter loadout, right? You're like, oh, well, Scott, what about if you load out with body armor and an AR and an SR and SMG and a drum SG and a P, right? Like, aren't those cool? No, right? Actually, it reminds me, my father has spoken like 10 diamond jewels of wisdom to me in my lifetime, and I remember them all, right? And I remember I had a friend in high school whose father had so many guns Like, we found one stuffed in the couch. I found a gun stuffed in the couch, right? Like, from my high school friend. I went over, we were looking at an Apple IIe or something, you know. And, like, I'm like, dude, there's a gun stuffed in your couch. And he goes, oh, yeah, we got guns all over our house. So I went home and I asked my dad, I said, hey, you know, my buddy's his dad's got like 3 dozen guns stuffed all over the house. How come we don't? And he goes, Scott, I want you to be a strong, brave man. I'm going to tell you something important right now. You could tell how strong and brave a man is by how many mechanical projectile weapons he has. The more he has, the less strong and the less brave he is. Said it flat out. Like, I was like, wow. And boy, did Mariupol prove it, right? Their bravest, most savage global freedom fighters, their loadout was a coffee cup, right? That is the coolest you can have. This is America. Load out how you want. You choose. You do you. Right? Like, you know, like, if you know, start picking it. If you want it to be a pair of scissors, that's your loadout, right? But it could be as little as a coffee cup. And trust and believe, okay, that is savage global freedom fighting. And it is an excellent model for every American. Just you realizing, you know what, I'm not going to get a bunch of cans and fill them with water. I'm not going to go rush out to my local mechanical weapon shop and, you know, and buy a bunch of those and then get individual items that go inside them for $1 a piece, right? That's for the weak and unbrave. But when they come for this land, I'll be on my porch with a coffee cup and they will have to take me before they'll get 1 inch of it. That is true bravery. That's balling out the right way, right? Now, everybody gets to choose. If you want to do a little more than sit on your porch with a coffee cup and say, you got to take it. You got to take it, right? That's what those Mariupol people did, right? They're like, I ain't leaving. I ain't leaving. You'll have this. You will only get this when you have forced me to pay the 10 pint price. That is true bravery, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it here. We don't know when. We don't know if it's going to be Wednesday or 3 years from now or 30 years from now, but we're going to need it, right? And it's okay because we got it. It was given to us in 1776. George Washington was the first, right? And Abraham Lincoln was the second, and Harriet Tubman was the third, right? We have a history for this. We are a nation of heroes. And guess what? Sitting on your porch with a coffee cup saying, you better take it. You're going to have to take it, right? That is fighting, right? That's the coolest. That's the highest mark. I don't expect all you to be able to make it, right? I know many of you aren't going to have that much bravery. Many of you are going to rush right out to the mechanical weapon shop and start buying up, right? But just realize, that's fine, but it's not as cool as sitting on your porch with a coffee cup, right? Like, that is, you know, Mariupol set the bar, right? Those people, that's true bravery. That's my opinion. What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.